This is Suzanne LeClaire, and we're going to be discussing problems family members face when the wounded warrior comes home. First one is family role change. Now, the family has been functioning and your spouse has been in charge while you're gone. And now that you're home, things have to adjust. There has to be different compromise. And sometimes this can be stressful, not only on the family member coming home, but also on the spouse that's been at home, as well as the children, because it's change. And we know that sometimes change is met with some resistance. Family members, depending on why the wounded warrior is coming home, may have to become caregivers. It could be your spouse, but it could be that the whole family has to be involved in caregiving. And given this change and this added stress, that some family members may begin to display similar symptoms to post-traumatic stress disorder: irritability, anger, difficulty sleeping, pain. And the family can, as a unit, become stressed due to the increased demands, the changes, and the way it functioned may be a little more fractured now. And so it's not functioning as smoothly as maybe you remember it. Just know that there are after deployment wellness resources for you. And there are some websites that you can go to seek some help, whether it's help on post-traumatic stress, depression, anger, alcohol and drugs, and even physical injury. If you navigate this site, and there are a lot of issues that may be of interest: post-traumatic stress, depression, anger, alcohol and drugs, military, sexual trauma, health and wellness, families and friendships, and sleep, anxiety. So this is an area where you can either click on the individual topics of interest, or that there is some information on the top right where you can contact the organization. Additional after deployment wellness resources is a book called Returning from the War Zone, a guide for families of family members, which may be very helpful. There's also a VA site for PTSD and reintegration and guide. It's a PDF family guide that can be printed. Now let's talk about important things for a caregiver to know. It's important for you as a caregiver to know how to navigate in the healthcare system. And by that I mean needing to know several things. First, you have to determine who is in charge of your spouse's or the wounded warrior's care, because this person needs to become an ally and a resource for you. You need to learn how to talk with individual healthcare providers and not be afraid to identify your concerns, the health risks, lack of coordination of care, or anything that you find necessary that needs to be addressed. You need to help providers talk to one another so that the care that your wounded warrior is getting is coordinated, that they talk to one another so that they all know what the big picture is. You need to do your research to find the best inpatient or rehabilitation or long-term care facilities, whether it's talking with providers, caregivers, other family members, other wounded warriors, or your own online research, as well as finding the best therapist, home care, or durable medical suppliers for supplies, which companies are the most reliable, the most timely, which home care associations provide the better overall coverage. So important tips for you as a caregiver: it's important for you to take care of yourself. And although this may not seem practical, But if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to have the energy to take care of your loved one, your wounded warrior. So you need to really take note of increased levels of stress. Can you sleep at night? Do you find that you're angry, that you flare up quicker than usual? Are you depressed, down in the dumps? Are you going for your own health exams? Are you taking time to exercise? Are you getting adequate sleep? Things to keep in mind. There are resources out there for you as a wounded warrior caregiver. We've mentioned Military One Source before, and this provides a phenomenal amount of information on various health topics, contacts, and you might find that this site is very helpful. There's the National Alliance for Caregiving, the Veteran Caregiver, the Vet Center. We provide additional assistance and resources for you, support services. There's also the Paralyzed Veterans of America website and the National Resource Directory for Caregiving for the Wounded Warrior. There's also an additional site supporting caregivers. This concludes Wounded Warrior Caregivers, and please utilize the resources that have been mentioned to ensure that you provide the best care for your wounded warrior as well as for yourself as a caregiver.